Oh. 10 years. It's been 10 years. 10 whole years. 10 whole years since Forest Escape. I think my chat popped out. Okay. Alright. Let us begin. I was gonna hook up my Wii, but then like I realized it was like kind of buried under some other stuff, so I just grabbed my iQ instead. So you get the added bonus of having an iQ stream, not just playing on the Wii. I could have hooked up my N64 as well, but yeah, we got the iQ. Still got it. iQ exceedingly rare now. Well, particularly with Ocarina of Time included, because the iQ servers shut down, so you can't buy the game anymore. The game is just gone. You can't get it anymore. So this is a very rare item now. I'm pleased to have it. And I have Ocarina of Time installed, as you can see. So, yeah. The little red dot means it's the full game, and the little yellow dot means it's a time-limited demo. And the little icon here on the far right means it's on the iQ. And the little computer symbol means I'd have to hook up to iQ at home and swap the game out because there's not enough space. And you know, it's really unfortunate. When I purchased this, I was thinking of getting Paper Mario 64 plus Ocarina of Time. And unfortunately, they both wouldn't fit simultaneously because they're large games. But it would have been really cool to have this thing loaded with Paper Mario and Ocarina of Time in Chinese, which would have been super awesome, but unfortunately because of the size limitation, I didn't get Paper Mario. Like, I could have had it, like it comes with Dr. Mario, but yeah, I wanted them both to be loaded at the same time, because using that software iQ at home to like install your shit is really terrible. Like, for one thing, it's really hard at like picking up if your system's connected, and like it often doesn't work. And you need to load it through like a Windows XP instance, so it doesn't work on like Windows 7 or Windows 10. So it was really frustrating to get working, but I managed to uninstall Dr. Mario, which was able to put Ocarina of Time at the top of the list, which, for the any percent run that used save warps, Ocarina of Time would just be, you know, sitting at the top of the list, which would save a little bit of frames for the save warp, which is really silly. It's hilarious that like you go through this menu when you save warp on the iQ. It's actually quite sketchy. I think the rule set in general is quite sketchy here when this was allowed. I mean, it's still technically allowed. Well, it's like soft banned for the other categories, but now it's obsolete for any percent, so it's not really used anymore. And it's so hard to obtain one of these things. But anyway, I just thought I'd play on the iQ today. Yeah, the save warps are long, but like the game itself runs really well. So we're gonna load up Ocarina of Time. So the capture might freeze for a second as it like changes resolution. It's still like trying to show it on my monitor. There it is. Okay, do you have clear audio? I think you should. Anyway, here's Ocarina of Time for the iQ player. Released in 2003. Official release from Nintendo. Audio through my microphone only? It shouldn't be. If it is, I could... Oh, that's annoying. Hold on. Audio? No. No audio. Maybe no audio. I'm gonna turn up my... If there's no direct audio, I'm gonna turn up my microphone. Like, do you hear direct audio or not? Because you might just be hearing my monitor. I just turned it up, supposedly, so if it didn't get louder, then it's probably just microphone audio, which kind of sucks. I'll turn up my monitor so you can hear it better. Okay. I just muted the game, so it should sound the same. I turned it up so you can hear it better. Yeah, just mic audio then. Okay, so yep. This is my IQ. Got my hold targeting. I don't know what this file is. I'm just gonna erase whatever this is. And then just go here. So thanks for the sub. Alright, so what should we name this file? 10 years is what it should be called. Here's the intro. Haven't seen this in a while. Just kind of remembering when I used to grind this. Oh, I used to have the perfect tech smash. Let's see if I can still do the perfect tech smash. I'm gonna try to do frame perfect tech smash. Oh no, I fucked it up. I missed a frame. I lost a frame. One frame lost. Let's see if I can do the smash. Okay, I lost one frame total in the entire intro. Anyway, continuing onwards. I guess I'll go get the sword and shit. I'll get the sword and shield or something. I haven't done this in a long time. Yeah, okay. I don't remember when to side hop. I don't remember. Where's the other rupee? Okay. No. This is extremely sloppy. I never learned the other rupee route, because I always did the other forced escape when I was doing any percent. So I'm just gonna collect the remainder of the rupees now. Go find some rupees. Should time it. $28. I'm too short. I need rupees. Alright. Okay, so back in the day we were trapped in the forest and there was no way to escape the forest. That was 10 years ago, okay? 10 years ago. 10 years and 12 hours ago, there was no way to leave the forest. But then something happened. So I guess I should give you a little bit of the history here. You know, you need this sword and shield to talk to Mido. Mido gives you access to the Deku Tree. You beat it, you get the Kokiri's emeralds. Which, you know, after you do all that, then you can leave the forest. And you can leave the forest through this exit over here. This exit. So there's this Kokiri that blocks your way. It's not Mido, it's someone else. Generic Kokiri guard. And couldn't get past this person. Could not figure out a way. No way to get past. Couldn't escape the forest. So, you know, a number of things were tried, of course. Such as trying to, like, get over him or something. But it's not just the tree that blocks you, though. Actually, there's like a force field above this Kokiri that blocks you from a great height. And you cannot get past it. You're stuck. You're stuck. So, with that blocking you, you're stuck. You have to beat the tree. You have to beat the tree. You can't escape. But you do have access to a few more places in the game. And one of those places is the Lost Woods. Now, back when this was being looked into, at the moment, it was just more of an interesting challenge idea to try to do the impossible to leave the forest early. But we already knew you needed the 3 spiritual stones to get to Adult Link and open the Door of Time. So, even if this was to be accomplished, you know, it's like, it still doesn't help that much because there's still Door of Time blocking you. However, I had a keen interest in this, and I was not the only one. There was also Swordless Link who was looking into this and trying to find a way out. And there was actually a way out, but it involved Crooked Cartridge. So once you have access to the Lost Woods right at the start of the game, so you can go to Goron City, okay? This takes you to Goron City, but you're blocked by boulders. And they're in your way, and you can't get past them. There's no way to get past these boulders. We tried things like get knocked back into them like this or some shit. Stuff like this. It never really worked out. But if you do take your cartridge, your N64 cartridge, and you take out the side of it a little bit, you can get through the boulders, because the actors in collision don't seem to work. Like, the actor collision doesn't... You can just go through when you crooked cart. So, there was a way out of the forest, but as speedrunners we considered this cheating because it's like hardware manipulation. So, even though this existed for a long time, a way to escape the forest through here with crooked cart, it wasn't considered legitimate. It was considered illegitimate way to leave the forest. So, you know, I still wanted to escape the forest really badly. I wanted to find a way to do it. And I did mess around in here for a while, but I didn't really get much luck here. So, this is one exit to the forest, but you can't get past. The boulders just stop you. So, where else can we leave? Well, if you go through this area, what do we have here? Well, here we have this little pool of water, and if you could go all the way down, which you cannot get down there, you could leave and get to Zora's River, and that would be a forest escape. So all you'd have to do is find a way to go further down, but like, you know, there's almost no items. There's like nothing you can really do. And little did we know that years later, there's two, not one, but two ways to get through there. There's two ways to get into this. There were actually two ways discovered to get into this and go to Zora's River that were found. So that came later, but that was not the original forest escape. So this had promise for sure, and it turns out it did have promise because you could escape through here. But this was not the way out that I found. So the two ways out from this way are to get Navi to talk to you, which happens after 30 seconds waiting in a place, assuming you haven't talked to her before, and cleared her text box. So you jump up like here, and then basically what happens is that once Navi says hey, after 30 seconds you do a jump slash, and then you talk to Navi right there, like that, right there. And what happens is Link starts talking to Navi but takes a step back from the jump slash, and then once you're in the text box, the water physics don't affect you, but Link takes a step back and falls into the water. And then because the text box is up, you sink to the bottom, you clear the text box, you regain control of Link, and you can just swim into the hole. So that's one way to escape from here. And then later another way was found. I don't even know if I remember how to do this, to be honest, but... Do I even remember how to do this? Do I remember? Do I? I don't know if I remember. I actually don't think I remember how to get out of here. I think I fucking forgot. There's some angle, okay? There's some fucking angle. Actually, I think it's like, target this and then 2 ESS frames, maybe? 1. No. 2? Was this it? Fuck, I can't remember. Fuck. I don't remember all these setups. You think I remember this shit? I just let it go. I just let it slip out of my mind. I let it go. I let it go. So, I don't remember how to do this shit, but there's some angle, you jump slash, and when you jump slash, you end up in this little crack right here. It's an acute angle. There's some angle that lets you clip into this. And you're still on the top of the water, but you're like out of bounds. So you swim like kind of in the middle of this thing, and the loading zone down here, that loading zone extends upwards to the surface of the water. It's just like inside of the fucking block, so if you can get in there, then you can access it. But that was not the original forest escape. So where else can you go? Well, there's also other areas of the Lost Woods, like such as over here. So this takes you to the Sacred Forest Meadow. And, you know, you could kill this Wolfos and then make your way through this. And you can just do this at the beginning of the game, and you go all the way to the Sacred Forest Meadow, where you can find the Forest Temple at the end of this. But that's not really that helpful. Ow, jerk. Here's the Sacred Forest Meadow. Here's the Warp Pedestal, and then here's the Forest Temple. And so this wouldn't be so much of a forest escape because you're still kind of in the forest area, but if you could get in there, you could access the Forest Temple. You could access that early, and you know, it turns out you can get in there through hovering. Infinite sword glitch and hovering. So, you know, Infinite Sword Glitch was a known glitch, where you interrupt your crouch stab on the last frame by talking to an object, or just talking to an NPC or whatever. Then your sword swings infinitely, and you got a little trail on your sword. And in this state, you can't walk off ledges, so you'd like stick to the air, you wouldn't fall down. And then if you can shield damage in the air, then you can actually just stick in the air and float there, and you can just like keep doing that if there's a damage source that you can use. And so if you have like slingshot and bomb shoes, or I think maybe only bomb shoes, depending on how you do it, or bombs and things like that, you could get up here. And you know, people have done challenges like that, such as fighting Phantom Ganon with the boomerang. Although nowadays there is a way to actually equip the boomerang to Adult Link, due to a menu glitch that's always accessible. So actually, you can always equip the boomerang to Adult Link now, which is actually pretty ridiculous. But this is not Forest Escape. This is not it. So where else is there? Where else is there? Well, there's the fairy fountain. Is that a way out? So here's a place you can go at the beginning of the game. And if you remember from Majora's Mask speedruns, in Majora's Mask, you can do some pretty wild shit in these fairy fountains. Such as like getting up on this ledge, and then getting up here, and then going out of bounds and making it to a whole different fairy fountain, and actually escaping, well, going to an entirely different location on the map, because the other fairy fountains are on the map. But in this game, that's not a viable forest escape. That's not something that really works or exists. So that's out. That doesn't work. So what else? Where else is there to go besides the Deku Tree?
Get it be.
Thank you. So, you know, there's various shops and houses in Kokiri Forest, but those don't work. And you know, wrong warp was not discovered, and there was not really a way out. So there's one more place. There's one more location you can go. Okay. Well, actually, I guess there's kind of two more locations. So another place you could go is here, which there's actually a secret grotto by the butterflies. You go in the grotto, and this is called the Forest Stage. It would say Forest Stage right there in English. This is like a performance place where you wear masks, and these scrubs come out and greet you, and sometimes you get prizes and things. And this is a grotto, and so, you know, like, I believe it was Mr. Grunz found out you could actually, like, hover through these holes and access other grottos on the same map, similar to the fairy fountain thing. So if you could hover up here, again, we have no explosive source or anything, so it's like, there's not really a way to do this. But this was something that got looked into, and explosives were used to get up and out the hole and above the grotto, and then hover over to a whole different place or whatever. And the grottos are on the same map, but actually the way they were programmed in this game is different from Majora's Mask, because in this game, if you leave a different grotto, an out-of-bounds grotto, it takes you right back where you came from. It doesn't allow you to warp to the other grotto. And I think the reason for that, I believe the reason for that is because there's so many duplicate grottos in this game, where you get this kind of like generic grotto that has like, I guess it has like a fish and a gossip stone and a treasure chest, and there's a lot of those that were duplicated. And so I think that in some sense the game is like saving which location you came from as like a special bit of programming just for the grottos. And so when you leave, it checks that and puts you right back where you came from, regardless if you actually manage to get out of bounds and go somewhere else. So that's not viable. So for the last place you can go, is over this way. So over here, this area, the special thing about this place is that this bridge is where Saria gives Link the ocarina, the fairy ocarina, and right there, that entrance right there, this goes into the forest, into Kokiri Forest. So this is what the guard is blocking, okay? And actually, really, to trigger that Saria cutscene where you get the fairy ocarina, all you have to do is go through the loading zone that guard is blocking, and it will trigger the cutscene and give you the fairy ocarina, regardless if you've completed the Deku Tree, or even if you're Adult Link or whatever. As long as you go through there and end up here, that gives you the fairy ocarina. And on the other side of this bridge is the exit to Hyrule Fields, which would be a way to escape the forest. But alas, the only thing you need to do is get up to this bridge, but it's too high up. So what could you do? Well, if you're up here, perhaps there'd be a way. Right? Because you just have to get to the bridge. So, you know, there's like there's some trees up here, like, you know, maybe you could like somehow get over here, make it there, then jump over here, but it turns out that doesn't work. It's not enough. And again, we don't have bombs or explosives, so like we just got a sword and shield. It's all we got. We don't even have any items. It's just a sword and a shield. So it's just a totally cleared inventory. So with the discovery of hovering, I realized that this place is quite peculiar because there's this business scrub here who will sell you a Deku stick upgrade if you block his attack and then talk to him. Sells it to you for, I believe, 50 rupees. But the thing that interested me about this enemy is that like if you're too close to the business scrub doesn't do anything. It's just hiding. Thanks, Twy. But if you're a little bit further away though, then it starts shooting Deku nuts at you, which is an attack that you can block. And so I was like, wow, this is really interesting because this could be used as a damage source for hovering. And so here is a perfectly good place to activate the infinite sword glitch. Right off this gossip stone right here. And so now we have infinite sword glitch, and the business scrub could shoot nuts at us. Now what could we do to get over to that bridge? And so my idea was kind of angle yourself kind of this way, and then back up into this corner, okay? And then if you get all the way in the corner, just barely in the corner, the scrub will actually get out of its hidey hole and begin shooting you. So I'm getting shot now. So perhaps I could side hop and inch along the wall just a little bit. And so that was my idea. See, now I'm hovering. Now I'm hovering. And we are slowly, very slowly, traveling backwards, extremely slowly. And I have to time every side hop, and it's incredibly slow. But we're making tiny bits of progress. And notice how we're going higher because of my timing. So like, if I jump too late, the side hop brings me upwards, and eventually I'm going to be out of range. And it's just going to miss me and I'm going to fall down. So if I do it earlier, then I can try to get hit by the nut, but that was too early. So there's like a timing where you have to like balance your height as you slowly get distance backwards. And also I think this angle is perhaps a little bit not strong enough. So let's try this one. You can also lower your height if you time your side hop like kind of early to like, you can kind of balance your height. So I'm slowly going backwards. Hopefully I can make it back. I guess I'm kind of using a visual cue as like the enemy's mouth starts to like change shape. As the business scrub gets ready to shoot me. So I'm making it backwards a little bit. Lost a little height. If you listen very carefully, so at this point, if you listen very carefully, you can actually start to hear the Lost Woods music again. Like, because I'm actually getting far enough away from the enemy that the enemy music alone is starting to fade out, and the other music's coming back. So, if you notice to the right side of the screen, there's actually kind of a problem. At the very right side of the screen, there's a tree. And as I go further and further back, the tree is closer and closer to blocking the angle of the shot. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm doing it, I'm getting out of the forest, I'm doing it. But this tree is like getting in the way. Oh, I went too fucking early. I tried to lower my height. But I guess long story short here though, eventually when you're almost there, when you're getting like really close to getting there but you're not quite there yet, the fucking tree blocks the shot, and so you can't go any further. And it's not far enough. It's not far enough. So it almost works, but it doesn't. And I figured this out and I was like, damn it, it's so close to working. If we could just get like a little bit further back, it'd be fucking legendary. Just get up there, almost there, but not quite there. And so I looked at this room, you know, I got this tree here and this gossip stone, and I was like, what if there was another way? And so to summarize what I was trying to figure out here, I actually charted the room. So actually it was drawing some like maps of ideas, and hopefully OBS doesn't crash. Please work. Cool. So here was an image that I drew back in 2007, 10 years ago. In this image, so the circled S is the scrub, and the T is the tree, and the blue dotted line is where I'd start the hover next to the gossip stone, and I'd go back and hopefully the angle of the tree would not block the shot. And so, yeah. However, notice I have this thing called NHZ no hover zone with like kind of a there's kind of like a range, like a max range. Or no, the NHZ is where you can't hover, and then there's like a circle that says scrub shoots max range. Like it's the max range where the scrub can shoot. So the bridge is like to the south of that, and there's kind of like an issue there. So it's like, is it gonna work? And so I tried the hover, you know, I tried the hover from like, from this corner out to the bridge here, and I thought that maybe it could work. And as I was like theory crafting this, I was like, well, I'm gonna do another drawing of this, and so I made a second image. That's much more clear. That first one was like a bad sketch. But here's the other image. This image is called Fuck Trees. So this image is called Fuck Trees, and yeah, so there's the idea. There's the Gossip Stone to the south. My idea is to do 2 backflips because it's the ground is like sloping down. And like if you do a backflip, you could like get some height, enough height to stay up in the hover, because if you're too low to the ground, Link will like actually snap back to the floor. So I thought the tree was an asshole, and like the old strat, the blue strat didn't work. It's like barely not there. It didn't work. And then maybe this bottom strat, this other strat could work, where I'm doing like 2 backflips near the Gossip Stone, and then I start side hopping. And it seemed like really hard to do, and I couldn't quite do it. I was like, fuck. Shit ain't working. It's like really frustrating. And like maybe I could try this. Wait, so like, let's see. So I must have been facing kind of in the corner. Okay, let me see if I can kind of replicate what I was trying to do. So here's the Gossip Stone. We're looking like kind of this way. There, like that. Oh, that was too low.
Fact trees, Narcissa times 13 less than 3.
See, I'm popping back to the ground. But okay, it's like you need enough height. It is possible to get enough height. Maybe my angle needs to be a bit more this way. Almost, that was close. I can't believe it's not enough height. Oh, it's barely not enough height. Okay, anyway, I'm pretty sure you could start a hover there, but the point is, like, it still is not really gonna work. And once you actually get too far out this way, actually what happens is the scrub just doesn't shoot you anymore. It just, like, gives up on you. So, like, and there's also this tree here, which was gonna be a problem anyway. Like, this tree was gonna be fucking bad. So, what is there to do, right? It's like I'm out of ideas. What the fuck can I do? And I really wanted this to work. And like, actually what happened was someone named MP16 figured out this super flip, mega flip thing where you could, if you time a roll and then backflip and shield damage right as you come out of the roll, you could actually fly backwards really fast. So that was something that was known. And I wonder if I could do one here. I rolled too early. Or too late. There, I think I did one actually. Was that it? I don't know if that was it. That might not have been it actually, I'm not sure. But... oh, actually, I hurt my friend here, so I had to leave. Let me leave and come back. So my idea, I didn't know if this was possible, but my idea was to go back to the old strat, the blue strat at the top, and where it says fuck, where it's not gonna work anymore, that's where I was gonna do the mega flip. In midair, out of the hover, mega flip from the hover, and maybe, just maybe, that would get you out. And that was my idea, but it was very difficult to do because it was hard to get in position. The mega flip was 1 frame, and it was not. It was pretty tough. But I was like, this idea might actually work. So now for the skills test here. This is the actual skills test. So here we are again. I didn't shield, I'm a genius. Oh, don't hit it. Don't hit it. No, don't hit it. Don't. Alright. Alright, so here we are again. What's a good angle? This might be fine. This might be okay. So here we go again, and now this is the actual forest escape that I found. I'm going to sit here and attempt it until I do it. I'm going to now perform the forest escape. It's actually a pretty hard forest escape. This was the first ever forest escape found. It does work. I found it 10 years ago today. And now we're gonna sit here and do it until I can do it. So you want to like, you actually want to be a little higher than this and further back so the shot is almost out of range, because this is like barely doable. It's barely doable. So the shot is still not quite out of range. I'm too low. I need to be a little higher, and I need to be a little further. I need to be a little higher maybe, and a little further. Is this the right position? Is this the right position? This might be, I can probably go a tiny bit further. I'm gonna do one more jump at the very end here. This might be it, maybe. This, I don't know if I'm I don't know if I'm not far enough. I don't know, this might be a good position. I think it's worth attempting, so I'm now going to try to do this. So you have to time a roll, and the frame you come out of the roll, you have to do a shielded backflip, and the nut has to hit your shield. So you have to roll, then frame perfect backflip. The frame, the nut hits your shield. So that would have been too. I'm trying to time the roll now. Figure out the roll timing with the visual cue, looking at the scrub. Because the timing is critical. That's probably a decent timing. That was probably too early. I don't know. That might have been okay. I'm just gonna do this until I feel comfortable. That was maybe a good one. Too early, I think. I'm just trying to get the timing figured out. I think that might be okay. There it is! First fucking try. First fucking try. I haven't played this game in like forever. So I'm literally on the bridge railing, and if I do one more backflip, I make it onto the bridge. I just barely made it. Fucking barely made it up here. So 10 years ago today, I did this for the first time ever. It was the first method to ever escape the forest in Ocarina of Time. So what happened then? Well. So here's what happened, actually. This is the Speed Demos Archive forums. We got some familiar names here. Runner Guy, ZFG, Akrite. So here's the thread. You can see it says December 14th, 2007. And so this is pretty cool, like ZFG talking about crashing the game, and Dodongo's cavern tricks being found, Super Slide. Oh yeah, and Akrite was like looking into Bottle Adventure back then. So I scroll down a bit. So there's me, attention whoring, there's Kazooie, and I just like posted this shit in the thread. I was like, oh shit, I did it. Ha ha ha. And so Kazooie wanted to see the video, and then a Krite starts theorizing about odd potions, see right as child, get all 3 stones or something. And then go to the next page. And then my username back then was Kirby SSB, and there was another Kirby in the community who was known for bullshitting apparently, but that wasn't me, that was someone else. And so they're saying maybe it's just bullshit, provide a video. So I was trying to get the video. I edited together a video in Windows Movie Maker. Video's not up right now, but it is on my, I re-uploaded it to my new channel. And it basically just step-by-step guide. ISG off the Gossip Stone, hover, mega flip in midair. And then it's like, cool, it's like, it's still not useful yet, because like door time skip's not found. And then this inspired a Krite to go into intensive research of his current theory. Only feasible, he's trying to get an odd potion on See Right as Child to use Bottle Adventure to get the spiritual stones, to open the door of time, and then utilize Forest Escape to skip all the child dungeons. And then turns out there's actually door of time skip. So turns out you don't need the stones. And so everyone's super excited to try to like break open the game further. And so, you know, these threads just go on and on and on. And then I learned that you can crouch step with a Deku stick, so you can actually go swordless. And actually just use a stick and a shield instead of a sword. And so you can just go swordless. And so I first did it on emulator, and then I got it on console. And this was actually really cool, because then there's a lot of interesting stuff happened where like you go talk to Zelda, you get Zelda's lullaby, then you go back to the forest, and like Mito's not blocking the way anymore, so you could actually like, it was actually possible to get to Adult Link without the Kokiri sword. And then that opened up new Bottle Adventure possibilities using, I believe, the Zora mask to not have the Kokiri sword, but then still get new items on your B button. And I was like really excited because like I was really interested in that stuff. So I did it on console and started messing around and found all sorts of miscellaneous things. And so I was like exploring the Bottle Adventure glitch, doing like sold out sword on B and stuff. And then I got, yeah, see like this stuff. So I was like, Kazooie, remember this video that you made where you can like get items on B button using Zora mask, like this item? I was like, damn, now that the Kokiri sword is skippable, like now perhaps you could actually get more items, because there's more like binary possibilities unlocked from the Forest Escape. And then anyway, so like this was all really exciting and interesting, and this actually led me into charting out every single RBA possibility that was possible and making a big chart, and that was like a big information repository that eventually turned into Zelda Speedruns when I started zeldaspeedruns.com. But you know, eventually what happened was Forest Escape was found. I mean, Door Time Skip was found. And so when Door Time Skip was found, the fastest route became go to the forest, do this fucking skip, right? Do this skip, and then get a bottle and shit, and then go adults, and then do Bottle Adventure route. So this was actually part of any percent for a while. And it was kind of like a trade-off, because you could decide to, like, if you considered this too difficult to do, you could, like, you know, just complete the Deku Tree, which was slower, but it was, like, an option. And actually I have this memory where, like, I was in this, this anime club room. Like, my friend Gary brought me to University of Wisconsin Stevens Point's anime club room, and he had to go do some shit. And so I just sat in the room and, like, tried to do basically an any percent run where I skipped the forest. And so I was like sitting there for a while trying to do this, and I remember failing at it a bunch because it was so hard, and I was like, damn, maybe I should have just done the tree or something. But yeah, so this actually eventually I made the video 7 years and 5 minutes, where they had the Ocarina of Time demo on Super Smash Bros. Brawl. and it starts you with the sword and shield in Kokiri Forest with no cutscenes, and you get 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, 5 minutes to perform this, leave the forest, and, you know, make it all the way to the door time and do the door time skip and get the Master Sword. It's like 5 minutes. And I got to the Master Sword, but I couldn't pick it up in time, and then someone else was actually able to make it there and do it. Another thing that happened with this skip too is that, see this tree is near the bridge? Well, it turns out you can like, I never actually did this, and I didn't fully understand it, but you can bridge clip where you do the mega flip earlier. So like, or not, where, this tree, okay, yeah, this tree is right next to the bridge, and like, apparently there's like an acute angle thing happening here. So instead of needing all that height and distance, you could actually, with just like maybe a few backflips or something, like, do a mega flip much earlier and hit the acute angle and like clip into the bridge like earlier. So this long setup to get over here turned a lot shorter if you could do that, which was, I believe it was kind of harder, but I remember like Runner Guy and some other people, I believe, like kind of mastered the bridge clip method, which was definitely the fastest forest escape at the time. And then there was some interesting stuff too. So like it turns out if you walk through a loading zone really slowly, or at any speed really, it keeps your speed as you go through. Like there's different speeds you can come through a loading zone at, and the slowest way you can move is if you use your sword to move, and it makes it so you're stationary. So this loading zone in particular that takes you back to Kokiri Forest, if you use your sword to go through, I forget where the loading zone actually triggers here. I forget if I'm allowed to do the third slash or if it counts as speed. I don't remember. There, so I'm stationary. So now that I'm stationary, I'm actually moving so slowly through the loading zone that I'm on the other side of the guard when I come through. Because normally if you walk through, you end up walking right through the guard during the intro, and then you're not inside the guard anymore. And so what this enables you to do is either roll under the guard, or it turns out there's a small crack on the floor right here, and now that I'm in this position and the guard will rotate around me, because I'm basically trapped, right? The guard won't let me through. But this little hole in the ground can actually be used to put the Kokiri guard through it, and the Kokiri guard will fall through the world, fall out of bounds, and it's no longer your problem. And now you can just leave. And what that does is it puts you here in the cutscene where you get the fairy ocarina. So that was kind of useful sometimes. And then so that's how you get an ocarina. Of course, I think ocarina items was known for a long time. So you didn't really need an ocarina. What you really needed was like a bottle. But with or without the fairy ocarina, you can go through the loading zone and make it to Hyrule Fields. And I'll have to say that the first time I ever did this, when I walked through to Hyrule Field for the first time ever, it felt so magical and wondrous. The Hyrule Field music kicks in, and it's big and green and beautiful. It's like bright it's like a daytime, beautiful, majestic. Here it is. Ah, so glorious. Totally skipped the Deku Tree for the first time in history 10 years ago. Glorious! Yes, another notch on my ego belt. Hooray for me. But it turns out my forest escape got obsoleted quite quickly because someone named Pokey, who actually submitted an any % run to SDA a long time ago in like 6 hours and 16 minutes, found a much simpler way to escape the forest. And that did involve this guard. It turns out there's actually numerous ways to get through the guard. And so the way you do it is you go into this corner and get rid of this fucking sign. Get out of here, sign. No. Wait, you can still target. Get rid of this fucking sign. Okay, okay. I got rid of it. You aim somewhere, I don't remember exactly where, and you crouch stab, and then on the first frame, you can interrupt the crouch stab, very similar to getting ISG. In fact, this triggers ISG. You start talking to the Kokiri guard as you get pushed back, and it's just enough so that you actually can get pushed through the guard, and then get back in that circle as before, and you can either let the guard fall through the crack in the floor, or you can roll under the guard as the guard ends up like kind of popping up here to go on like the wall. You can roll underneath that if you do it right. So you can get to the other side and then leave. So, turns out my force escape. I mean, okay, to be fair though, the fairy ocarina was not needed, so like this was still slow because it forces you to get the cutscene. And so it was still worth going to that spot in the Lost Woods and doing like the bridge clip method, which was faster. It was more difficult certainly, but now here was a way that everyone could do to escape the forest, and it really opened up the game for a lot of people. But you know, once the other forest escapes got found, like in the Lost Woods to go to Zora's River and stuff, you know, all this stuff fell out of favor, kind of. I mean, this is still useful if you need the ocarina, but yeah, so pretty much my original forest escape method, it's not really used anymore, but it was really exciting when I first found it. I was really fucking pumped about it. And yeah, I don't know, that's kind of the history of it. I mean, that's pretty much all I wanted to show in this stream. But that was just a little throwback to 2007. And it's kind of cool, you look in the thread and you see a lot of the same names. There's like Runner Guy and ZFG and myself. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to share. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say really. I think I might just end the stream. I might be back with Breath of the Wilds later tonight. I know Xant's gonna do an all main quest run tonight. So there's some exciting stuff happening with Breath of the Wild, which is my new focus. Like, Ocarina of Time is mainly behind me, but I thought that this would be a nice little stream with a little bit of history in it. I noticed there was the Ocarina of Time any % history video that did not even mention Forest Escape. It's almost like the person who put the video together forgot that Forest Escape even mattered, because I think they kind of took it for granted that you could leave the forest, but didn't really investigate the history of it. So I don't know. I just thought I would share this. 10 years ago today it happened, and that's pretty much it. So, thanks for watching. Oh, Xant just started the stream. Cool. I will host Xant, but I might interrupt I might interrupt the host with my own stream of Breath of the Wild later. I'm not sure though. So I don't know. I'm just gonna chill now. So go enjoy Xant's stream. We're all competing in all main quests. It's really good shit. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching.